no, hang on. I know why. Hang on. There we go.
Bloody hell.
Yeah, well. Start off.
Well.
If you were here on time, this wouldn't be... Why is it not coming on?
Because because...
I've got Logic Capture on. Yes.
Yes. Blimey. Try to film a bloody podcast and Jordan's never on time and can't even bloody get his bloody video working. What the hell, bro? Always on my case. I'm recording this just so it's funny because I'm like, Jordan's not doing anything.
A few moments later.
Oh, here's what this fucking is. I'm fucking pain in the fucking ass, right?
One eternity later.
There we go.
Oh my god.
What?
Look at this. I reckon we shave a mohawk, mate. That'd just be sick. Please tell me you at least did what I asked, which was put a little pigtail, a little ponytail in the back.
No. It's all gone.
Disappointed. You should have at least done that before and just sent it to Al.
No, I literally went to my barber and I was like, right, this is a rough idea I want, and he was like, yeah, I can work with that. And actually, I'm very happy. It's very hard. I mean, when I thought he was going to do a high fade, I thought it would be like there.
Yeah.
So when I then opened my eyes and I'm like, okay, right, we're going to work with this now.
To be fair though, my high fade goes up to about here.
Yeah.
And then we just fade it all the way up to here, and then that's it. And the good thing is too, though, if I ever go to a barber, they only have to really do a high fade to here, and then the rest just cuts itself.
Just cuts itself. Fabulous, great, yeah. I also got him to fade. He's faded my beard a little bit as well. Which is...
I thought he did a little bit.
Actually, I have to say, I wasn't. I said,
wait, go turn one way, and then turn the other. Yeah, he hasn't taken it. He hasn't taken it down as much on that side.
Yeah. No, I know, sort of thing. But it's
pretty clean.
It's very clean,
and it still gives you that sexy little salt and pepper kind of like Mr. Sheffield kind of like grey.
This thing? That thing is never gonna go.
That's what I'm saying. The Mr. Sheffield grey.
If I shave it down myself to like a 1, you can still see a white patch.
I love it. It's cute, mate. It's what brings the ladies in. It's a Mr. Sheffield grey.
Mr. Sheffield grey. Have you heard yourself?
Dorks Down Under.
Right, anyway, hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the podcast. This is Dorks Down Under, Season 3, Episode
16. 15, 16, 17?
16. I know, I should be aware, we're a proper podcast, me. Anyway, we just want to say a big thank you to all our recent subscribers. Please make sure you do like, share and follow. You can find us available on our beautiful faces via our YouTube channel, as well as seeing us on Spotify, and we're available on all other major podcast platforms. Even after the fiasco that Spotify have now changed the background app for the podcast.
Well, the worst thing is though is that he gave me the password, and he's obviously written it all in caps. So we were a bit delayed because I was like, bro, I've literally copied it from your email and then back into mine, and I couldn't figure it out. And then all of a sudden I'm like, I'm just going to do the change that he told me, but keep it exactly the same in upper and lower case. And then it just went, yeah, cool, logged in. I was like, bitch, what?
Literally, I have no idea why I typed it that way out to you. I mean, I'm assuming I must have, I think I must have done it from my phone and not from the keyboard. Or maybe
it is weird because it was all caps, and I was like, oh, okay, cool.
I don't know. I have no idea.
just leave me alone.
Leave me alone. Oh my god. Well, I'll tell you one thing. This is going to be a short podcast this week, brother. Short podcast this week.
So good.
Main thing is, the only thing I've been getting up to is watching season 3 of Clarkson's Farm, which has been epic.
Yeah, a few people have said that, and I'm like, maybe I should watch it.
Honestly, Clarkson's Farm, the first 2 seasons were good, right?
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. All right, because you're right. Okay.
Didn't you go there, or was that not you?
Oh yeah. I went to Diddley Scott.
That's what I thought, because I remember somebody telling me they went there, and I couldn't remember who it was.
Basically, in terms of when I visited last year, they'd finished filming season 3. basically.
Oh, okay.
Because all the changes that happen in season 3 are already done, sort of thing. So it's kind of like because we were trying to work.
So
it
just
out.
like it's like the ultimate spoiler. You're just like, oh, I just spoiled it for myself.
Well, no, because of course it's Jeremy Clarkson and he does what he wants anyway, sort of thing. So even if we'd gone there and he wasn't meant to be doing it, it's Jeremy Clarkson.
That is very, very true.
But and I have to say, season 3 was actually a bit of a roller coaster ride. Like watching it, like me and El, we were getting upset at some.
Because am I right in thinking that in theory that's the last season, like it's done?
No.
Because
they're filming season 4 right now.
Because I thought Amazon had come out and said that after the fiasco that was Jeremy Clarkson, they were going to come out and they were going to finish season 3 and then that was going to be it.
They kind of originally said that, but then they've released season 3 and everybody, I mean literally everybody's really got behind the season, and it's kind of like they're like, damn, can't really turn this, because it's like free money, isn't it?
Yeah.
Realistically. Do you want to turn off a show? Because let's be, between this, The Boys, and what else do they do? That's really good. Invincible.
Reacher?
Oh, they do Reacher. I haven't watched. I've seen clips. I
haven't seen the second season yet. I've been meaning to do that, but it's on my to-do list. But it has been kind of slipped through because I had a few things on.
So realistically, do you want to turn off the entire? Because this is the best thing, right? Look, everyone in Britain raves about it, but the fact is that it's actually lots of farmers in other countries. Are using what saying look at what's happening in Britain through this show, sort of thing. Do you realise that if we continue down this path, we're going to have the same thing that's going to happen, and blah blah blah. So you need to be doing this and doing that. So they're actually using it as sort of a beating stick on governments,
which I think is good, because I think people just don't realise like. I don't know, but here, right? So Woolworths has just been dragged through a or Woolworths countdown, whichever you want to call them. I'll say countdown for Jordan's sake, because otherwise he starts twitching and it just looks like his video's glitching, but it's actually not. It's just him getting frustrated. But
listen,
the guy,
I used to get my pick mix from.
But even then, though, the CEO of Thingo got ripped through the coals because they're like, oh, we're making money. They've just announced like $1 billion profits, and then Australians are like, we're struggling, and you keep putting prices up, but somehow you're still making profits. But during the inquest, I was watching it. He said to the guy, how much did you get paid? Or how much is your salary? Because he had to announce it. And the guy's like, oh, it's in our brief. And the guy said, the brief is 134 pages that you've sent us. I have read it all, but I want you to say it in words. And he's like, I'm pretty sure it's on page 76. And he's like, that's not what I'm asking you. I will hold you in contempt. And the guy was just, this South African dude that's the head of Thingo was not having a bar of it. He didn't want to go. And then eventually they said, I will hold you in contempt if you don't answer my question. And he said $2.4 million. And he said, and the guy said to him, he goes, is that it, or is there a bonus structure? And he said, yes, there is a bonus structure. He's like, so just remember, I'm asking you to answer my questions, otherwise I will hold you in contempt. How much did you take home? He's like, based on short and long-term bonuses, I made $8.4 million.
Oh, it's disgusting, isn't it?
And then he's like,
don't get me wrong, right? Okay, fine. If I ever reach the level of where I'm able to be paid $2 million, just let's make it nice and easy, right?
Yeah.
Why do I need a bonus structure?
That's what I think. I'm like, I'd probably still put in I'd still put in a fair bit of effort, even if it was $2 million.
I mean, surely the fact that if you're going to get paid $2 million, right, you're going to get reviewed, you're going to be judged the entire time, because realistically, a company would go, right, we're paying this guy $2 million. Is he worth $2 million?
They're probably not, to be fair.
The only bonus I would want is, can I get some free beer or some, or bits and bobs here and there? That's all I want. You don't.
To be fair though, when you're getting paid $2 million, do you really need a beer fund? You've kind of probably got it built in, but like.
And I bet you get a discount.
Oh yeah, the Woolworths discount. Like my mate Andy, who's down from Brisbane right now, he works for like a bottle shop, and I think it's one of the Coles ones, but he's got a Coles card, so he gets discounts and stuff. And he's like, even then, it still seems bloody expensive for what it is.
Yeah, it's the one thing that shocked me when we were in Tassie for the wedding, and just that when we went, it wasn't even a big liquor store. It was like, oh, we'll see what we get, and I was like, Jesus Christ, how much you pay for beer? This is ridiculous.
I must say though, but, like you've got to remember too though, is Tassie is because of there's certain
they have to import it in. Yeah, you kind of get that, but the fact is, you were saying, oh, actually, this is cheap in comparison to where I'm from.
No, yeah, it's cheapish because like say for example, I wanted to move to I've decided I'm going to buy a house in Tasmania. I'm going to move there. Like if I'm moving from here to say Brisbane, I can actually hire a truck and hire a firm that will put everything in the back of their truck and drive it to me for Brisbane. They will drive it to Perth. They will drive it to Broome, which is pretty much like here in Australia, furthest you can get. But they will not take it to Tasmania, because the trucks aren't insured to go over the water, and the only way they can do it is to actually go into the Spirit of Tasmania, do it across, and then drive it through. I think there's one or two firms in Tassie that will actually do it, and even then they
have to then bring their trucks over.
So they bring their trucks over, and then they bring everything back. So you actually pay quite a premium, like to the point where a lot of people, because Tasmania became this big thing, because when you could work from home, you could buy houses quite cheap, and it was actually this big thing. But the weirdest thing is that it's probably cheaper for you just to buy new stuff there. Like that's how bad it is, and you're like, that's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. Sell everything and then only ship the sentimental.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Or grab a car, or you grab your car, fill it up with everything you can, and then just drive it there. Even if your wife or partner or whoever, you fly over. I'm going to take everything that I can in the car. I'm going to fill up the entire frigging car, and then I'll just drive it over.
That's insane. Actually, how much would it be? Just roughly, because I assume you don't know. How much roughly is it to get a ferry ticket from the mainland to Tassie? It's a couple of hours.
It's 12 hours.
God, it's a 12-hour.
Well, they do it overnight, so they run two ones, and one runs all day and one runs overnight.
That's as bad as the Cook Strait. Then the Cook between Wellington, well, not Wellington, but between the North and the South Island, is roughly 12 hours because the Cook Straits are horrific.
Yeah, well, that's the problem, is because you've got that massive thing that goes through. So it says here, according to this, adult fares start from $89.
But I'm talking about a car.
That's what I'm looking at right now. So car or four-wheel drive. So it's got here with so it says load your car with extra suitcases, camping gear, fishing rods, that all for an extra $179.
So you're talking, say rough round figure. We're talking less than $300.
Yes, but you got to remember too, though, is you got to buy the car, which is $179, but then you've also got to buy the adult pass.
Yeah. So you're talking about 300, just under $300.
Yep.
But geez, I mean that's a lot. I mean, to be fair, and as well, you'd have to have if you're transporting some stuff, you'd have to have a decent sized car as well.
And it does say here that it takes between 9 and 11 hours depending on the sea and a number of factors. Yeah. So because you've got to remember too, though, is you've got all this stuff pushing against land, and then there's this one little strait where everything can get pushed through. Those currents are horrific. Like to the point where 9 times out of 10, from what I've been told, they're kind of turning if they have to hit Devonport, which is here, they're probably aiming for Burnie, that's over here, and they're just aiming for this, and the currents pushes them across.
Jesus.
Yep.
It's hilarious how Australia is just so deadly for no reason.
Everything
Even the water, not even the things in the water, but the water itself. No.
It's like everything will kill you.
Honestly, it's the one thing that amazes me about New Zealand as well, is how dangerous the water is when, especially when we get to summertime, and on the radio, literally every other week, they talk about the reported deaths due to riptides and all this.
Yeah,
it is terrifying.
It's like we can't even have a nice beach that won't kill you.
Yeah. Oh no. To be fair though, we've noticed that since we moved here, we've noticed that the reportings of great whites is increased, and they're travelling
in New Zealand or in Australia.
Yeah, in New Zealand.
Yeah, no. There's that's the best thing I love about Shark Week. Shark Week is like my favorite week in the entire world, where I download all of them and I love watching them. Obsessed with it, but like to the point where there is off the southern coast of New Zealand, there is a massive white shark population that is very different to any other white shark, to the point where it's kind of like in South Africa. So South Africa is the only place, when you see those massive cool things where the sharks jump out, that only happens in South Africa.
Yeah, funnily enough, we're watching. What were we watching? It was Travel Guides New Zealand. This is when lockdown happened, and obviously because Travel Guides is predominantly an Australian-based show and all this jazz, and everyone in New Zealand likes it. And of course, no one was able to travel, and they basically said, "Oh, New Zealand was like, well, let's do a spin-off and we'll do a New Zealand one," and it was quite good actually. Yeah, mainly for the Kiwiness of it. It was hilarious. But one of the places they went down to the South Island. I think they were in Invercargill or Stewart Island.
Yeah.
Down right.
Oh yeah, Stewart Island's where all the great whites are.
Yeah. And of course, one of the things I said is that, one of the activities we're going to do is great white shark diving, and literally my ears perked up. Like, excuse me.
Yeah. Oh, the Stewart Island's famous for them.
This is available. And Ellie was like, "Oh dear Lord," because she knows that I've always.
Oh, I would. I'll come with, mate.
I want to go cage diving. I want to go cage diving with great white. I'm not stupid enough to not be in a cage. I know they are docile and everything else. But I can't.
The worst thing I only find about cage diving too, though, is they find sharks, they plonk you down, and then they're just like, and then we're just going to throw chum out. I'm like, so that just makes me sound like I'm just going to get eaten. And it does, and it revs them up, and that's why you see, like, there was one that I loved, and you saw this shark charge at this giant fish, and then just keep going, and just ran straight into the tank and got stuck in the tank. And you see this fin coming out of this tank just doing this because it's trying to get out. I'm like, oh my God. And then all of a sudden he gets out, like, and everybody's panicking because there's this great white shark just doing this, trying to get out, falls out of the top of the cage. And then all of a sudden this diver comes out and just pulls out his mask and goes, fuck me, that was intense. And I'm like, of course it's an Australian. It had to be an Australian. Like, it was just the funniest thing. And I'm like, I love it.
Here we go. Oh my God. He's in the cage. Oh my God. Was there anybody in there?
Who's in the cage?
Nobody's in the cage.
Somebody in the cage? Yeah, somebody's in the cage. Somebody's in the cage. Oh my God. It has to be mink. It's mink.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Jeez.
Literally, it's on my. I don't know what it's that, and skydiving's on my bucket list. I really want to do skydiving.
Man, I missed out on skydiving, and it breaks my heart every time. So when I was living in America, by the time I was there, and I was doing my Trek America, one of the activities was skydiving in Vegas. Ooh. And every part of me wanted to do it, but the problem was at the time the Australian dollar had just dropped to like 42 American cents. So one of our dollars was 42, and it was going to cost me $611 or something to go tandem. And I'm like,
hang on, would that be 6 to 11 American?
Yeah, which means it would make it almost like $1,400. Yeah.
Ooh, jeez. Yeah, no, that's not good. Yeah, that's. I mean, don't get me wrong. I want to do skydiving, and yes, I want to pay. I don't want cheap service. I want decent service.
Yeah.
To be fair, there was a. Oh, was it? There was a.
Yeah, so it works out to being on average.
I watched that talked about it, saying that most skydiving companies all the skydivers are contractors, and so when you pay for the service, but you get to tip them. And people are like, why do I have to tip? He said, because it's these guys are all contractors, and so most people tip, and like it's like they have like two levels. It's like, I'll tip 15%, and some people do the 30, and it's like, and these two guys went and did it on this podcast, and one of them tipped 30, one of them tipped 15, and he was saying, why is this loose? He said, should have tipped better.
Oh, that is fucking.
Obviously, it was a joke, and he's gonna come and tighten it.
Yeah.
But the
That is brilliant. That is literally the funniest thing. Just to give you, I just did some quick math. So $1,454 that was going to cost me. That included the tip, by the way. So that was with the tip. But I'm just like, and at that point too, I had probably about maybe $4,500, $5,000 to spend Australian. And I'm like, there's other things that I really want to do. And as much as I would love to skydive over, like in Vegas, I'm like, I can't warrant spending a third of my budget.
Yeah, that is a level of
So the 2 or 3 European guys and the British guy did it. I think there was 2 German guys, there was a Swedish guy, and there was a German guy that did it. And they said this seems exactly up your alley. Why are you not doing it? I'm like, in all honesty, it'll cost me $1,500, and I just don't have that money to spend. Where for them, it was costing them about, I think it was like 380, 390 euros.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
which is I mean, it is funny because I remember when, funnily enough, I remember talking to it was one of our old set of neighbours back in when we just moved here, and we were talking because obviously they asked us what our plans were. We were new to the area, and we said, "Oh, we're going to hopefully buy a section." Blah 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 blah. And they said, "Oh my God, you can do that." I said, "Yeah, we sold our house in England and X, Y, and Z and all this jazz." And I said, "What about your?" Because they were South Africans, and they were like, "Oh yeah, no, we we can't sell." So I went, "Oh, why not?" And I went, "No, we could sell it. We've got this great property. It's all this acreage and everything else." I said, "It sounds beautiful. It sounds amazing." And they went, "Yeah, but if we to sell it and then bring the money over, we get nothing because the exchange rate on the rand to New Zealand dollar is pittance." And they said it's literally not worth it.
Well, I know when I went over there, the Australian dollar wasn't doing great against the American, but it was something like, I'm going to say it was probably like 12 or 15 to 1. So for every $1 I had, it was like 15 Rand. And then at one point then it says the Rand has dropped against all major currencies. So in my head, all I saw was 20% off the entire country. Fantastic. So I went out and obviously took out a fair bit of money and started spending. And I'm like, discount off the world. So I was just like, I'm a baller, baby.
Oh, God forbid, yeah. No. It is one of those things that you sort of, when you're on holiday, you do pay attention to. So it's like, right, okay, this is how much it costs me to exchange, roughly. Yeah. So then suddenly you're in every shop and you're calculating everything. Or you get nowadays, I've got your smartphone, I'll quickly,
yeah.
Go, yep, this is how much it costs, sort of thing. And you kind of go, oh, no, it's not worth. Would I spend 40 quid? Would I spend 40 quid on this bit of tap? No.
I found like I didn't do it as much when I was travelling around Europe, mainly because at the time I was earning the pound. So for me, I think everything was like 1.5, 1.6.
Yeah.
So unless it was...
The pound and the euro were always really close. So
when I travelled, it was 1.5.
Oh, okay.
So when I first went over there, it was like 2003. I think I travelled in 2004 because I believe that this year or the end of this year next year is going to be our 20 year from my Kentucky tour. And it's kind of funny because Andy's obviously here, who I met on my Kentucky tour. But the funniest thing is though, is it was like 2.4 or 2.3 to 1. So I'm like, I don't really care. I'm earning the pound. Even if it's 1 for 1, that's fine. And my idea is if unless it's like over $100, I probably wouldn't have even thought about it because I'm like, this is kind of cool. I like this. I want this. Yeah. So, like for example, I got a Stein in where was it? I think it was Hamburg. I'm going to say, and it was a Stein, and it was like this popular like brand where everybody kind of goes and they're like world famous, and it had a piece of the Berlin Wall on it. And then obviously had a letter of authenticity and stuff, and then on it actually had. I actually got one that actually had like sort of like concrete in the back and then a flat bit that actually had paint on it. So it still had the spray paint and stuff on it. And it cost me about 230 euros. And I was like, that's cool. And then they went, for $50, we can send that home. I'm like, so you can send that home to Australia? And he's like, yep, cool. My mate's like, I thought you lived in London. I'm like, I do at the moment, but there's no way I'm taking that home. If they can ship that thing to Australia and can guarantee and it's all insured, why wouldn't I? And then also what I did is because they also, there was a place a couple of doors down that also sold knives. I actually said to the guys, I'm like, listen, I'm going to go buy some chef knives. Can I put them in the box with it? And he's like, yeah, cool, they'll fit. No problem, we'll just charge you like an extra 10 euros. I was like, fine, whatever. And sure enough, because of
admin and paperwork and all that crap and declarations. Yeah, that makes sense.
And literally, they just threw them in the box and they came home, and I still got it to this day. I'm like, wow.
Yeah. To be fair, that's one thing I need to get a hold of. In fact, I'll probably tell Elle.
What, the Berlin Wall?
No, I don't want to, but I'll tell Elle now so she can start looking for Christmas and all this jazz. But I do want a decent set. I do want a because my chef knife I bought about 5 years ago.
Yeah.
From the kitchen supply spot up at the thing. It's the handle starting to go on it.
Yeah.
And to be fair, the blade is a bit thing. Obviously, I don't have it professionally done, but the fact that the wooden handle's now starting to go, it needs.
Does it have? So does it actually have the full tang through it, or is it just can you just see wood all around it?
All I can see is wood all around it, but the wood's now starting to split. So I'm assuming it is.
It's a hidden tang.
I'm assuming it's all the way down. That's the reason why it's splitting.
Oh, no. Because so what there is most chef knives, or the old school chef knives that comes from Europe that was world famous, what they actually do is they have a full tang, which means that the handle and the blade is all the same sort of shape.
Yeah.
So you actually have that, and then you have 3 rivets in it. Where the Japanese way of making knives is to have the hidden tang, where they have a piece of wood and they often burn it on, or they put it on. So what will happen then? It's a lot more comfortable. You find it's a lot less cold. If it does start to separate a bit, you don't get the pinching. But to be fair, I prefer a full tang knife just because it's got weight, a lot better control, and it's less likely to break if you drop it. But that's just me being a nerd.
I think it's full tang. I'll be honest, without knowing it, I do believe it's full tang. But yeah, so I kind of need a new good knife, like a proper knife, and I do like the sort of Damascus-esque. Japanese steely, because they do look good.
They look good, but the problem is, though, I have a feeling they're just chemically etched. I don't believe they're actually.
Some of the ones I've seen, because I see them at, because obviously we go to, because I'm a middle-aged married man, so we go to craft fairs and all this jazz, or we're at a market on a weekend, and of course there's these random stalls, and you see like a knife seller at some of them, and you just look at them, you're like, these look good.
They are nice.
Yes. Could they be chemically etched? Yes, but I'll tell you what, you can tell the difference when you do see a chemically etched one and you see a proper one.
Yeah, because it's a lot more. It's a lot more thing. Well, technically, they're all chemically etched, but I mean, as in the patterns etched versus the actual thing. But I must say though, the good thing about Damascus is that there's so many different ones you can get, and I love it.
It does amaze me that throughout this entire human history is that no one knows how to recreate a proper original Damascus, which is technically unbreakable. And same with, technically Japan does, because Japan
makes a different kind of steel.
But it's literally the difference is the carbon content from it. But the fact is that I reckon the technique that the Japanese use is probably how it was made. It's just down to those little fine. Oh, well, we put this much in and this much in. And
if you ever get a chance, actually go onto Google and watch how Japanese make steel. It's insane where they actually burn the carbon into it and stuff. It's amazing. But I must say, I'm a big fan of Damascus and the way it's made. Like everything from you've got teardrop Damascus, ladder Damascus. You've actually got the one where you actually cut and you fold it in. So you actually have a pattern Damascus where it actually has. So you pretty much make Damascus, put it like that, and then you stack it into all 4. So you actually cut it into 4 pieces and then stack it like that. So you can actually get stars and different things like that. Really cool.
I've never seen that. That sounds like a great YouTube.
I must say I nerd out because I've always wanted to get into blacksmithing. I just think it'd be friggin' sick.
Oh, to be fair, there was what was it? I think it was in lockdown. There was a couple of years ago because I saw that you could go get rings made. You can go make your own ring.
I saw that in Japan.
It's aimed at couples, and so obviously you go like that. But I kind of thought to myself,
we were practically a couple.
I don't know, but I kind of thought to myself, I thought, well, hang on, if I can go get a ring made and do it myself, is there anywhere that does it for a knife?
There probably is, but I would say though that it would be a lot more expensive, and it
probably would be. But I kind of just wanted to go and just start, have that sort of experience. But literally, I was just having a look, but I couldn't find anywhere in New Zealand that there may be someone in New Zealand who does it privately, but I tell you what, is no presence sort of thing, which is kind of a bit. But if I want to get a ring made in New Zealand, absolutely. Oh god.
Oh, can you do it in New Zealand? I've seen it in Japan and stuff. I say what we do is we find one in Japan, and it gives us a bullshit excuse to fly to Japan because I've always wanted to go.
Listen, I don't need a bullshit excuse to Japan. I literally, it's on my list, and it really is.
That is true.
I actually cannot wait to go. And even L now.
Oh, so nice of you to join us.
Hey, can we just give a big round of applause for Australian internet, ladies and gentlemen?
Fucking hell. I'm just sitting here, and then I'm like, this time at least what it did, and this is the weirdest thing, it disconnected the call and had you still up there, and then when I went down to have a look, it's like, Discord isn't responding, and I'm like, why isn't it responding? And then I'm like, the internet's out. I'm like, that's weird, so I tried to reset it and it didn't work, and then I hear Cherish call down, Derek, the internet's not working. I'm like, okay, cool. So I had a look, and I'm like, and the actual normally what happens is it's just like the modem just kind of goes. What it feels like is that sometimes you just get like a surge and it goes, whoa, I'm going to switch off for a sec. And normally it's just the modem, but there's the box that the modem plugs into. That's normally the NBN. All the blue lights were gone. So I'm like, okay, cool. Oh, okay. So I had to reset the whole bloody thing, and that's why it took forever. So I'm like, it's all right. At least I didn't have to hold it because now I needed to pee anyway. So I'm like, well, I guess while I'm waiting, I'll just go pee.
Well, literally, because what happened for me on my end is suddenly I was talking. I can't even remember what I was talking about now because I was off on a tirade.
You were talking about something about Japan, and
oh yeah. Why I don't need an excuse to go that way. But yeah, then suddenly your screen went that blank, and then it shifted all the thing over because of course it means I'm the only one on the call. I was like, oh okay, give him a second. And we just get, well, give it a second. You've obviously pressed something. Yeah. And then I noticed, because I always have the Facebook tab open as well when we do our thing. And as you mentioned, saying, just reset mode now.
Yeah. Because the worst thing is, too, though, is that I'm like, because it just went dead. And I'm like, I was clicking on something because I was clicking on it because I wanted to remind myself to download Clarkson's Farm. So I actually had it all up. And then I just changed from one tab to another, and all of a sudden I just see the Jordan Orcs Head magic thing, and I was like, what have I pressed? And then I'm like, no, my mouse is up there. I know for a fact my mouse is up there. And then I'm like, what the hell has happened? And then I was like, yeah, that makes sense.
Oh my God, Australian internet. Gotta love it.
Oh my God.
Gotta love it.
Well, the good thing is, and this is what I'm hoping, is at that new house,
yes,
it's going to be hardwired into my computer. It's not going to be using wireless. Because sometimes I think it's just the wireless sometimes has a bit of a glitch, and you're like, oh, okay, cool.
I'll tell you one thing. I don't know what... Right, okay, because I bought... Right, because I obviously got LAN ports put everywhere.
Yes.
Everything else. I bought a splitter. It's a... Alright, I've got 8 ports, but I really only need 5 online. The fact is that it's one of these ports... It's one of these ones now that you basically plug it straight into your modem, right, and then you plug whichever 5 you need in. But the problem is the map that they gave me for all the ports does not match. And I'll tell you what, it definitely doesn't match because I've tried every single...
What do you mean it doesn't match?
So basically, because obviously you go to the board and it says 1 to 8. That's all it says. 1 to 8, and I'm like, okay, great. I said,
I'm pretty clever. I can count to 8, so I know this one's number 1.
But you know what I did? So I literally, first week of moving in, this is before I bought my splitter and everything else, I said, just so I know, is there a map? I said, can you ask the electricians, is there a map for what number correlates to what? And they went, yep, no problem, we'll find that out. Got an email back saying, right, they started off from, so essentially, you go clockwise from the board, so start off with the board, so imagine it's 6, you go clockwise and it's 1, 2, and it goes around like that. And I thought, no worries. So now I know the ports. So I plug them all in to this splitter because I only need we don't use any of the ports in the bedrooms. They're there, so when we come to sell it, it's fine. But we're never going to use it. And I'm like, right, no worries, crack on. They're literally none of the ports match at all. They do not match. And when I questioned this, the only response I got was, well, you could pull all the covers off and have a look at what number's written on. So I thought, okay. So I went.
You know what you could have done? You could have done the same fucking thing when I asked you.
Oh yeah, I pulled off the first cover to see what the number was. Guess what? No number. So basically, I have 8 ports. And that's what? A couple of billion different variations and combinations when trying to pick 5.
You almost have to
4. for?
You also you almost have to go.
Taken up by the modem.
You almost have to go like okay. So I've got eight switches, 8 things. I'm just going to get an 8 switch one and just plug them all in, and then that way, then at least I know they work.
Yeah, well, no. This
But
is
it's
the thing,
annoying.
though, is that the difference in price when I was buying, because I thought to myself, great, you know what? I'll buy a 9 splitter, 1 for the modem, and 8 for thing. I'll crack on, happy days. Nope. The difference in price from jumping up to, because I had to buy a 10 port one, because of course you can't get 9. You could buy an 8 port, which is fine, but that was a couple $100. And I'm like, okay. Literally 5 was reasonable. It was like, I think it was like $60, and I thought, well, I only need half the ports anyway. And I was like, therefore modem, and I got 4. But the problem is the 4 out of, I'm trying to pick which ones are which without having to have the entire argument of, is it on yet?
Yeah, I was going to say unfortunately that's probably the only way you're going to get past it, and it's friggin'
I don't
annoying.
want to do it. So I ended up picking a random combination, right? Somehow I managed to get the main TV clicked on. Great, fab, awesome, lovely day.
But
right?
the problem is though, don't you have 4 more ports now that you're like, unplug that one, TV didn't go down. Unplug that one, TV went down. Okay, cool. So,
but the benefit is literally when I bought my PlayStation, because of course the ports there live, and I thought, well, I'll just plug it in, and it recognised that there was an immediate connection. I was like, yes,
I've got one right.
So I've got 2. I've got 2 out of my 4 correct. I haven't plugged in a wire for the PC yet, but
haven't you?
Good. Oh no, this is all Wi-Fi, baby. To be fair, the Wi-Fi signal in this room is so strong because obviously I use these what is it called? An AI mask network.
Oh yeah, they're great.
Which, and of course, so if one of the 3 goes down, the other 2 compensate until it reboots back online, and then they all share. So, and I've only had it go wrong. So what? We've been in a year now, and it's gone wrong twice, and that's when the major updates have happened. And I'm like, okay, fine, you know. Yeah.
Well, I was going to say when all the internet coming to the house is screwed, you can kind of be like, okay, I can kind of understand.
You know, it's like, oh no, so the modems are having to update themselves, and things have gone wrong. Okay, I'm gonna, you know, it gets a pass.
Yeah.
It gets a pass. It's fine, sort of thing. But yeah, so honestly, yeah, depending on how many ports you're getting put in, it's worth. If you,
I think I've got 3 from memory.
What, in the entire house?
Yes.
That seems too few.
I've got 1 in the lounge room, one in the lounge room, 1 in the main bedroom, and 1 in the second bedroom, which is the study.
Okay. All right. So you could probably get a 4. Well, yeah. So you just need a splitter then.
Because because the problem is though is chances are I'm going to hardwire my TV and then I'm going to just have the mesh network in there anyway.
Yeah, mesh network. That's it.
So I'm like that's fine. So, and to be fair though, if the TV's plugged in and say I have a TV in my room that's plugged in and my computer's plugged in, the only really thing that's on it is the phones. So even if the internet's not like 100% and it's 80, it's not really going to matter too much.
Is your area that you're moving to, has it got fibre?
Yeah, fibre to the premise.
Oh yeah, it would be sweet then. It should be sweet.
That's what I'm saying. So
I
like,
don't know how good Australian fibre is, but you know, it should be sweet.
yeah, it's fine.
It's actually, honestly, when we were buying, it was one of the requirements on my list was, is it connected to the fibre network?
Yeah.
And if it wasn't, I was literally, I was cutting off properties. I was like, nah, nope.
Nope.
Because I was like, if it's not on the fibre network, I don't want to hear about it, sort of thing. Because it's, you know, I want decent internet access because it's modern day and age, and I need decent internet access.
Yeah, because that was the one thing I said. I'm like, is it Cat 6 or Cat 5A? And to be fair, either one of those is fine, but at least I just want to know. And she's like, it's Cat 6, and then obviously we can run Cat 5A or for Cat 6. I'm like, I would prefer to run the whole thing Cat 6, but most people will do Cat 5A.
Yeah, I'm Cat 6.
So they've told me it's Cat 6, so as long as it's Cat 6, that's fine. To be fair, if it's 5 Cat A, I honestly don't think that Australia is ever going to be able to run or need Cat 6, because on Cat 5A you can still run a gigabit. And to be fair, at the moment, Australia's never going to get that. Like, it's shit. Like, those cables that it's running underneath, whatever the bloody hell they're doing underneath the river, I'm guessing that there's a bull shark somewhere nibbling on it because it's just not getting here.
There's a bull shark hooked up to the internet.
He's like, yeah.
He's downloading Shark Week.
That's what I reckon. I was like, you know, you're not allowed to watch Shark Week. I was like, he goes, I want you to be more scared of me, and not make it seem like I'm not. I love Shark Week.
Oh my god, absolutely. But yeah, so anyway, back to Japan, right? Yes, Japan is on the list because ever since we moved it, because when I mentioned it early on in the relationship that I always wanted to do Japan. And when you live all the way in England, there is no appeal unless you really want to go.
Yeah.
Because it is a long way to travel. But now we live here, and it's like, oh, well, you know, you're talking 6 to 8 hour flight.
Yeah.
It's very doable. It's
Yeah.
easy, you know. It's a direct flight.
But
It's easy.
I find it funny too, though, because you say that to like people from the UK. They're like, "Oh my god, I could fly to Russia with that," because quite often it's like you can get anywhere in Europe in about 4 hours flight.
Oh yeah, that it is. It is the one mind-bending thing more than anything is when you live in England, you have. I'm gonna fly somewhere. I want to go somewhere for a long weekend. A 4-hour flight is like the maximum you want to have if you're gonna have a weekend getaway.
Yeah.
Realistically, you're gonna fly on a Friday, fly back on a Sunday. You need 4 hours is a maximum flight.
Oh, 100%.
The options, the options of a 4-hour flight is unreal. Sort of thing. 'Cause,
Yeah,
like,
I know.
But the Canary Islands were 4 hours away. They were
Yeah.
4-hour flight. And you know, Ibiza and everything else. That's what you know. That was a couple hours. So it's no wonder its majority is all expats.
Well, that was the weirdest thing. So like when I worked for when I got back from the States, and I was going to go to South Africa, there was about. I think there's about 5 or 6 months between when I got home and when I was flying there. So I'm like, I just need to get a quick bar job. And as it was, I got a call from this agency, and the agency actually said to me, "Oh, we've got this job with the Qantas Lounge," and they're like, "Oh, you'd be good for it. It's 5 days a week. You can do up to 7 if you want." I'm like, "I'm happy to do 7 because I'm about to fly somewhere, so I would do it for 7." And like to the point where you'd go in there. You would open a whole heap of wine. You'd put the wine out in the little bays that were there, and then what you would do is when people would come up, you'd open the beer, you'd pour it into a glass, and you'd hand it to them. No money exchanged. And then occasionally you'd go out and check it, and I'm like, okay, wow, this is friggin' easy. I'm like, you sure? So at one point then I could put glasses on and actually pour 4 Crown Lagers, and it was just easy. And I'm like, it's fantastic. But yeah, it was just one of the easiest jobs I ever got, and I got paid like $32 an hour. It was insane. But it was literally for some reason because of the people got bored and stuff, and because of all the security. But it was so funny because you'd go in there and you'd be like, "Oh, I've got my bottle opener," and they'd be like, "Yeah, we've got to take that off you." So sure enough, they take it off you, and then what you'd do is you'd go to work, you'd come back, and then the first thing you'd do is be like, "Do you have any bottle openers? Because we need some upstairs," and they would hand you back your bottle opener. Like to the point where they just went, they just started letting me through with it because they knew where I was working. Yeah. I'm like, what am I going to do? Stab somebody with a knife that's this big? But yeah, and then
to be fair, I always found it. I mean, don't get me wrong. Okay, I understand the tragedy of the 9/11 thing when it all happened. And all
yes,
that, right? Okay, get that. But when they say you can't have these nail clippers because it has a little blade on it, I'm like, listen, if I could take over a plane with this, I deserve a world record.
I was going to say, I deserve to take over the plane. Like, if I can take it over with clippers, I deserve to take over the plane. Like, straight up.
It's just one of those things that it's a bit ridiculous. Although I did find it funny. Who was it? Oh, it was an American comedian. Can't think of his goddamn name now. But he was one of these 4 rednecks ones. He was called Blue. He was part of a troupe called the Blue Collar Comedy.
Oh, that was with the Jeff Foxworthy, the cable guy.
That's it. And he was talking about how things are in the cabinet after 9/11 that you're not allowed to take on. And one of them is a leaf blower. And it's like, who is taking on a leaf blower?
But that's the one thing I love.
Carry on and not is shaking.
Well, that's what I love about America.
Taking a leaf blower anyway.
It makes me laugh so much in America because I'm like, some of the warnings, I'm like, we need to take warnings off certain things for certain things. Because, like, it's just survival of the fitness. So one was like, please do not stop chain with hand or testicles on a chainsaw. Who's trying to stop the freaking chainsaw with the testicles? And if they are, they shouldn't be recreating. They shouldn't be procreating. They should be...
Oh, yeah. There are, I mean, there's always a strong argument that some people do need to be removed from the gene pool. That's the reason why we have... Every year the Darwin Awards, and every year I tune in, I look at that list, and some of the things that people have done, I'm like, don't get me wrong, because, you know, the majority of people who are on that list are males, and don't get me wrong, the male mind is very simplistic, and it is generally of, oh my god, I should try this, because we all do it, right?
Yeah.
We all have that one.
And then if we think we should try this and then decide actually that's stupid, you've got another male behind you going, bro, fucking pussy.
but I can do it.
or just egging you on like, fucking pussy, you should do it. You're like, damn it, now I need to do it. I don't want to be a pussy. You're like, damn it, and then they go do it.
Honestly, the male species. There's a reason why women live longer.
Yes, 100%, 100%.
There's
They
a
are
reason why women live longer, because women are smart enough to go, this is very dangerous, and we should not attempt this. Whereas
Yes.
male go, I reckon I can do it.
Yeah. Or we should get a professional to do it, and they're like, no, we got this, bro. You're like, no,
Oh, no,
you
it's
don't.
honestly, it's like if any work needs doing, like proper work needs doing around the house, I will pay. It's hilarious how I will say I got someone in to do it, and the judgment looks I get from Kiwis, because Kiwi mentality is, oh no, you make do and mend, okay, which is fine. Got no problem with that. Actually.
Yes.
It's very DIY. I love it. The fact is, I know I'm more of a health hazard
Yeah.
than.
Well, there are things that like I'm happy to do. Like there's certain things that I'm happy to fix. There's certain things that I can help people with, and I will go to my friend's house and we will do that. Not a problem. But then there's also certain things where I'm like, I'm not going to rewire your house. Come on, bro. It can't be that hard. How about fucking no? Or I'm pretty sure the gas is leaking. How do we test that? And I'm like, well, first of all, don't smoke around it, because I'd put that thing out. Just saying. I'm like, how about we call a professional, because you're a fucking idiot.
To be fair, I am a danger to myself, because, for example, for lack of a better things, is that in our old house in UK, when our electrician came through the house and did all the rewiring, because the guy before us was an amateur electrician.
An
And
amateur.
The amount of cable the electrician that we hired pulled out, I was like, what is all this? He said, this is all the excess wire. And I said, what do you mean excess? He went, when he had a great idea of running a new wire to a new port, he decided, rather than tagging it onto an existing line, decided to run a whole new one. How your house hasn't blown up.
Holy crap.
Wire is amazing. I'm like, Jesus.
On the plus side, you know what you should have done? You should have kept all that cabling, because the copper in it would have made you a small fortune.
Should have. Hindsight, isn't it? But yeah, but the problem was, there was essentially one switch in a cupboard that I said to him, oh yeah, just take it out. And he said, and I believe it was all deactivated and dead. So, and then I was remodeling the shelves and everything else. I took this off and thinking it's all dead, and of course, took just two wires together by accident. I got a little bit of a nasty shock.
I got a little bit. I love that a little bit.
Just a smidge, you know. And I will remind viewers that the standard voltage that runs through a UK house is 240 volts. A good 200 plus odd volts more than will kill you.
Yes. It's not good.
yes.
Not good.
So I got that, and of course the board went off. The board worked beautifully.
I must say though, the number of times the safety switch has helped a moron survive is just ridiculous. But like I understand sometimes mistakes happen like that, where you think it's a dead wire.
Yes.
Understandable. But like, I feel like for me, I think electrical, like high-end plumbing, like if it's just changing a U-joint or unclogging a U-joint, not a problem. If it's just putting on a tap fitting, okay, cool. But there's certain things where I'm like, I'm calling a plumber. Like if my gas is leaking, I know I'm not just going to be like, oh, I should be fine.
Yeah.
I'll do this. No.
You see, the only problem with my story, right, is that I would have gotten away with it if Ellie wasn't downstairs and didn't hear the bang and went, what the F was that? And I was like, nothing. She's like,
What was that,
"What
honey?"
have you done?" I went, nothing, but can we do you a favour? Call Simon.
Yeah.
She immediately knew why he called Simon. She said, oh my god, please tell me you're okay. And I said, I'm alright.
It's like I just dropped the spanner. She comes in and just doing this. Yeah, I'm fine. What's the matter?
Yeah. Oh, no, the worst, honestly, the worst of the time is at Ellie's old flat, right?
Far
I
out.
noticed one day.
I'm never inviting you over for anything that I need help with.
No. So Ellie, literally one day I'm round, and Ellie's like, "Why is this water leaking on the toilet?" You know, because toilets tend to have a bit on the old style toilets with the flush handle.
Yeah.
You have two sides, so depending on which side's been set up, you put the handle through.
Yeah.
Fine. And on the plug side, there's a little bit of water leaking out. And she's like, "Why is it doing that?" And I was like,
But yet, why is the water that high up?
no, because there's a ball cock and everything else. And
Yeah,
I
but the
thought,
ball
hang
cock
on.
normally sits.
Yeah, but I thought what I'll do, I'll pull the lid off and let's have a look. So I pull the lid off, and the little tap thing it's got a little leak in it, and it's firing out, and of course it's landing above where it's it's shooting out because it's pressurized water and it's shooting out, and it's landing above where the plug is, and therefore it's
Running
coming
down the
around,
side.
dripping out through the fire. Okay, and she said, "Oh, what do we do?" I said, "Oh, it's all right. I'll turn the tap so it then hits the wall. It's not on the plug anymore. It hits the wall. Just."
That is so ghetto. It's like, why fix it? I'll just turn it so it doesn't hit that one point.
But because it's not harming, because the bolt cock's working. It's getting rid of all the pressure and everything. All the excess.
Yeah, but the problem is too, though, is your toilet's constantly running, though.
Yeah, but it's a little tiny spray, like barely anything, and all this jazz. And literally, I just grabbed the top of the tap,
And the whole thing popped off, didn't it?
And literally, I kid you not, I literally touched it and just moved it like less than a millimeter, and the thing cracked, and suddenly water was like.
I hate to break it to you, but there's normally a reason why there's an issue like that is because of the fact is that it's probably starting to split or it's probably starting to do that.
Yeah,
oh my god.
We know that. We know that now. But of course, who gets the blame for breaking the toilet?
Yeah.
Who gets the blame? No. Is it the fact that the part was faulty and it's finally worn out and everything else? No.
I don't know if it was faulty, but I think because the part was already broken, yes, you probably shouldn't have, but you probably shouldn't have touched it and just been like, I better get a professional.
It was spraying this tiny amount. It was fine. Literally just a slight adjustment, and it would have been perfect.
But what happened when you did the slight adjustment? You broke the damn toilet.
Yeah, and it was fine. Once we got the water off and under control, it was fine.
Sure.
It was hilarious, though, I'll tell you that.
Far out.
Oh, God.
She would have lost it, too. She would have lost it.
Yeah, you could imagine.
Like, I can fix some things. Like, weirdly, I'm better with a welder than I am with thingo. But my grandfather was a boilermaker. My dad did a lot of cabinetry and stuff like that. So I can actually build, like, bookshelves and stuff like that. But, like, some things I'm like, I'm not even going to touch. I'm not going to pretend like I know. And to be fair, like, I'd much rather get a professional to do it to be like, yeah, bro, you got this.
So, given the industry I now work in, right, obviously we use nail guns, right? And I was down at site in South Island. And literally, I've got a couple hours to kill before my flight, right? I'm at site, I'm waiting to go. And I was like, I literally said to the site supervisor, right, great, put me to work. And he looked at me and he went, no. I was like, no, come on, put me to work. I said, I'm not sitting around and bothering you for a couple of hours. Put me to work.
I love that straight up. Just fucking no.
And literally, the supervisor looked at the branch manager and went, and branch manager said, technically he's in charge, so if he says to do it, you got to do it. And I was like, great, thank you. So he gives me a nail gun. He said, you've used one of these before? Nope. He went,
oh, Jesus Christ. He's going to fucking kill himself.
I didn't. No, the problem is I'm captain cautious when it comes to things, right? Especially things I know will hurt me. I am very cautious. But I tell you what, I was slamming through the work after a while. I was. But then you suddenly realise that this thing will double fire if you hold it for slightly too long.
Yes, 110%. They do not give a fuck about your...
Witchy, man. And then I'm like, no wonder I get nail gun accidents happening.
Oh man, it is ridiculous. So there are ways you can do it where it's a single fire mechanism, but you've literally got to almost. So you've either got to buy the really old ones, or you got to change the whole trigger guard out. But yeah, it's like a thing.
Ones where it's spring loaded at the front, so you can't pull the trigger.
Oh no, yeah, I know that.
Depressed. So
but if it's depressed and you hold it, what actually happens is it just goes around and goes tick, tick, tick. So you could actually just go with this nail gun once it's pressed. It's insane.
We've had some horrific nail gun incidents.
Oh man, and especially the speed they go into. I still remember watching this carpenter, and it blew my mind. We were on site we were just doing a bit of a site tour at one of the villages, and this dude had his leg up against a piece of wood, and he was nailing diagonal into the where the two pieces of wood joined. He had a frame nailer So they're even more thicker and more powerful, and he was just trying to shoot it here to get that stuck so that he could line up the other side. And he had his knee near it, and it went bang, hit a knot and just veered and went straight into his knee.
It does.
And just watching him pull it nail this big, like just pulling it away from the wood, I'm like, and he's like,
honestly, until I saw the safety video and it says, "Oh, you got to be careful of knots because it can divert the nail," and I was like, "No, what?"
a knot? Like, it's a little friggin' thing like this. It ain't gonna do shit.
I'll tell you what, I've seen some of the incident reports, and Jesus wept. I'm like, I've seen these nails, and to be fair, when I was using it, right, there's this piece of wood, and I had to look at it, and there was a knot, and I thought, okay, I'm just gonna put my hand down here, just in case. I'm glad I did, because that thing diverted. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, like it's no messing around.
It doesn't make any sense. This thing's firing at this pressure. How strong is this knot?
But they actually say that, like, so for example, you get a musket ball. And if, like, when they say that you, like, slice it in half, the musket ball would still just cut and just keep coming straight towards you. Where if it's a high-powered rifle and it hits, like, a blade or something, it will actually split a lot wider because of the force it's hitting. So the problem is, though, is as soon as it hits, it just veers. Because it's just like, oh, I'm just taking the easiest route. And it just goes straight into your soul. And you're like...
Yeah, it is insane. But yeah, anyway, so... Anyway, I in terms of DIY, if you need a hole drilled or something like that, I'm relatively good.
Yeah,
I'm banned from anything technical. Anything that require a risk assessment, I'm just.
I'm actually scared just thinking about you now. Going like, I'm just gonna do some DIY around the house. I'm even afraid of you mowing the lawn right now. You scare me so much. Like, swear to God, like just him using an electric knife.
Apart from the one problem I've got, right, which is when I don't want the grass catcher on. Okay? Because I can't work out how my spreader attachment attaches to my mower to keep the door open and to spread it. I don't know. And the worst bit is that I can't find in the instruction manual. There's nothing. There's no YouTube video. Apparently, everybody knows how to fit this damn attachment because apparently it's just easy.
I want pictures of it now because I want to just work it out and tell him.
Work it out.
I just want to see pictures of it now so you can work it out and just make Jordan feel like a complete and utter moron.
I'll tell you what, I will send because I've got to do some mowing. Well, originally I was going to do it today, but I can't because the weather's been absolutely atrocious today.
We actually had a gorgeous, like, it's weird though. We've had a gorgeous day. Like, it's been blue skies for the last 2 days. We went hiking yesterday. Blue skies, beautiful, but it's still like 19 degrees and it's just a level of ice that is ridiculous. Like, my mate's down from Brisbane and he's obviously like, I'm used to the hot, but he did live in Canada for 3 years. And he's like, this feels colder than Canada. And I know for a fact it was like minus 20 in Canada. I'm like, yeah, I know. Welcome to Melbourne.
Honestly, the winter is set in now, and like most mornings I'm driving and literally I step out the door and there's a wall of white fog.
Yeah.
Just that's all I see. And then I'm like, okay, it's gonna lighten up. Yep. The entire way. The worst bit is that people, right, I don't get how it's not a standard across all countries, because New Zealanders, a lot of them don't put their lights on when they're driving in the rain.
Oh, really?
It really annoys me. In fog, they put the lights on, but they don't put the fog lights on. And it's like, it's called a fog light for one specific purpose, right? When it's foggy, you put this on because it more illumination.
I must say that Australians hate putting fog lights on for the simple reason that here especially, unless it's like super foggy, cops will actually like are twats about it. Because like my best mate Brendan, he used to have fog lights on his car. And sometimes he'd turn them on when it was foggy in the morning, and then obviously he'd leave them on without realising. He's like, bro, sorry, I had them on this morning. I've obviously pulled out and forgotten to turn them on.
Yeah.
And then they would try to give him a fine, like to the point where if the fog was starting to lift, and he had his fog lights on, sometimes they'd be like, yeah, no.
No, that's wrong, man. You can't, especially in that circumstance.
Yeah.
If the fog is lifting still, it's still foggy. You know, if it's clear, absolutely crystal clear, and, you know, maybe the fact is that, all right, if you forgot it in the morning, but still, I mean, come on, that's ridiculous. That's absolutely horseshit. Anyway.
Yeah, because, I mean, that's the thing, though. Like, I've seen people where they've pulled out of their driveways, and because, obviously, there's street lights and everything, they don't realise that their lights aren't on. Because I know sometimes when my lights are on, I've got no freaking idea.
Hey, I had it the other night. about to say we were setting off from Hamilton, driving away because that day my car went in for a service, right? And I always have my car lights on auto because I do, because hell, it works. Why do I ever need to flick it off? I always have it on auto. And we set off from Hamilton, and we drove down there, and it was light, and we were driving back, and it's dark. And I'm driving round, cracking on. I'm getting to the outskirts of the city, and then suddenly we're in a traffic light, and I'm like, my brain then twigs and goes, why can't we see our lights reflected in the back of that car? And I look down at the dashboard, and I'm like, why is my light symbol not on? And then I look at the stick and see that someone's flicked it off, and I'm like, oh, for God's sakes, quickly. Flick it onto auto, and it's full again.
Yeah. Well, it is weird, yeah, because I was feeling real manly. I've been doing car stuff, so I had to actually change all my brake lights. And most of them is just like you go to the boot, you twist a knob, and you put the light in, and then you twist it back. And it's all pretty easy. But for some unknown reason, with these ones, you actually have to take the whole light off.
Oh God, that's old school. I had to do that with my first car.
So it's still it's weird because it's still just the twist, but there's actually like 3 bolts you have to take off to actually take the whole light off. And I was like, man, and I was feeling especially like for manly. I was like, yes, man. Did it.
Honestly, my first car was a Rover 214, and of course one of the lights went out. And then fine. And then I spoke to my stepdad at the time, and he said, "Oh, you just gotta go get a bulb, swap it out, crack on." I said, "Don't take it in because it'll charge you a fortune." Great, fab, no worries. Did that. So I went down the thing, bought the bulb, no worries, because it's like, oh, it's this car, yeah, this is the bulb we need. Great, fab. Got back home, I'm like, right, okay. And of course I went on, I'm like, how on earth do I get it out? Because everyone I spoke to said, oh, bish, bash, bosh, twist the thing, crack off. And I was like, nope. I'm trying to pull, trying to twist, nothing is budging an inch. There's no catch, there's no flip, there's nothing. And I'm like, oh, and so I ended up, luckily, look at this stage of life. At this stage of the life, we did have YouTube. Thank God.
Well, that's the weirdest thing. Super Cheap Auto. So I didn't realize this. So Super Cheap Auto, you go down there, you tell them literally your license plate, and they can actually tell you your car model and the parts. And I was like, sweet. And I found, and normally what happens is they can install it for you. So I was like, sweet. And then obviously, remember how I told you I changed the struts in my car and realizing I didn't have a screwdriver. So I'm like, that's cool. I'll go there. They can change it for me. Oh no, we only do that up till 4 o'clock. I'm like, you're only open from 9 till 5. Like, I've literally come here early just to get here. Crap. Okay, cool. I'll do it myself then. And then realizing I don't have screwdrivers, so I had to wait to get them from Amazon so I could actually do it, because I bought a screwdriver there, but for whatever reason, the thing was a piece of crap and split in my hand. And I'm like, I've just tried to turn this screw, and he's like, oh really? How tight's the screw? And he went, and this is the thing that fucks me up. He went out there with one of his screwdrivers and went, oh no, it's not that tight. Oh, I'll give you a refund for this. And then walked back inside and gave me a refund, but then wouldn't let me borrow the screwdriver. I'm like, fuck. So so I eventually, so now I have a full screwdriver set because I decided, fuck it, I'm going to buy a whole set.
Actually, I tell you what, one thing I think. So I had to replace one of the brake lights in my current car. And of course, I had a look at the panel and all that jazz. But great, yeah, no worries. It looks pretty straightforward. I should be able to. I don't have to pull the full thing out and everything else. Then realised, no, you do. And the problem is the bolt, the screw bolt, is down this entire tunnel thing that's like less than 10 mil. And it's all the way down there. And of course, and then I thought, oh, it's a screwdriver. Nope, it's not. It's a ratchet. So I had to go buy a ratchet set, right?
Far, and you probably have to buy one with an extender because it won't fit all the way down there.
Yes, I did. I had to go buy the extender version set, and and I finally got it to bloody.
Oh, you want to hear a little trick of something that you can actually use rather than a ratchet? If I've got one here. Oh, I don't know if I've got it. Oh, I don't know if I've got it in my cup of doom. But yeah, most ratchets you can actually get a Allen key.
If this was it was.
Oh, it's an actual bolt.
Like a bolt.
Oh, okay.
I thought that as well. I thought, oh no, I know what it is.
Because sometimes it's a hex bolt.
Because literally, because of course I'm trying to look down, but the problem is the hole's so small. Any light you shine down, you can't see what's at the bottom.
Yeah, or you've got to get your head in front of the light to be able to see it. You're like,
and I'm I'm like, you know what I'll do? I thought, I bet you it's a hex bolt. I'll go to the Allen keys. Go to the Allen keys, and I'm trying every single goddamn one, and nothing is gripping or slipping in. And then I was like, I bet you it's a bloody hex bolt. I'm just livid.
I know, it just makes you cry. You're like, damn it.
It does. Anyway, enough of the manly chat. Because I've realised what the time is, and I've realised the dogs are shouting, which means something's going to be occurring. So, ladies and gentlemen, we want to say a big thank you for following us, liking, sharing, and subscribing. A bit of a random episode. We will be back with proper content next week.
Yes, I do apologise. Yes,
not, we will make up.
We'll attempt to. One thing I did want to say though is that, have you seen J-Lo's new movie?
Oh, is this the
Atlas?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
I haven't seen. No, I haven't watched it. I just seen it pop up on my list then because I've just noticed that that's came out. So has Boy Kills World, which is obviously the other. Remember the one that we were talking about ages ago, where it had what's his name, Bill Skarsgård, the guy that's going to be playing the Crow, but it's going to be voiced by the guy that does Bob Burger. Remember, he's a mute that he goes and beats the crap out of everybody, and then he's got Archer or Bob's Burger's voice in his head. That's also just come out, and I'm like, I want to watch one of them and talk about it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, to be fair, Atlas is on my list. I haven't watched it yet, but
Neither have I.
Okay. Right. Well, next podcast we'll discuss Atlas. That's an easy one to do.
With J Lo.
Hey, listen. Right. Okay. The last J-Lo movie I watched was that rom-com one with her and Josh. Was it Josh Hartnett? The one where like they go to this island, but then these terrorists turn up and take over the island, and she exits, and so it's her and Josh Hartnett having to take on the terrorists. It's a bit like Die Hard.
There's one here from Amazon that's not Josh Hartnett, but it's that other guy. The what's his name? His name is Josh Deschel or Deschamel or something, and it's called Shotgun Wedding.
Shotgun Wedding, that's it. Yeah.
So it's not actually Hartnett. It's that Josh Deschamel, the guy that played. He was in. I don't know his last. I'm going to say Deschamel, but yeah. But there was another one that she did that I actually really liked, and I think it was. I think it was called Mother. Have you seen that one? That one's really cool.
No, The Mother.
Oh, The Mother. Yes.
Yeah, I've not watched The Mother yet.
It's actually really cool. So she's kind of like this assassin that sort of takes on, has to protect her daughter kind of thing, and she trains her and stuff. Really cool film. Okay. And then there was one in between that Cherish watched that was like this romantic comedy one that was just 10 shades of horrific. And I just remember her going, oh my God, it's so bad. Like I couldn't even watch it.
Yeah, no, Shotgun Wedding is, I'll tell you what, it's a great Saturday night, you're hanging out with your partner, you've got nothing else to watch. And it doesn't require a brain, because you immediately know what the plot is, literally within the first 10 minutes of the movie. And you're like, great, you know what, I'm just going to sit here and have a drink and just veg. And the fact is that, can I just say, J-Lo does look good for her age. She does.
Because what is she? She's 54, I would say.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm literally, my wife's fully aware that if J-Lo was to walk up to me in a bar and start hitting on me, that the ring on the finger will disappear.
Yeah, okay. She turns 55 in July.
Yeah, and she looks good.
The one thing I don't like about J-Lo is that she's like, I'm all natural.
Yes, no.
And I'm like,
listen, Jenny from the Block does not exist.
No,
we no.
And like even if you've had plastic surgery and you still look that good, the one you've had is quite tasteful. There are ones where I've seen them where it looks like they've just, I don't even know what they've done to their face.
Listen,
but like, don't lie about it.
We all remember what Joan Rivers looked like, right? Okay.
Oh.
Yeah. Jesus.
Blimey. But I'm all for it. Like, if you've got it, that's fine. Like, we're not judging you for that. But don't come out and be like, I'm all natural. Bitch, please. Like, you look at her in Selena, and then look at her in. So Selena was in 1980. I think it was 1997ish. I'm going to say around the same time as Anaconda, and then you look at her in Atlantis, and
oh my God!
And then you look at her in Atlas, and you're like, really? So naturally, as you aged, your nose randomly got slimmer.
Yeah.
And your jawline changed a little bit. You're like,
I'll tell you what, I don't hold our hopes for the Atlas movie because only IMDb is giving it 5.6 stars.
That's not bad. IMDb is a friggin' dumpster fire, man. I've seen one. Shawshank Redemption at one stage there had like a 4 before they got rid of a whole heap of like old ones.
Okay.
Like I don't.
A lot of her TV specials that she's been involved in is like they're in the 7s. I mean, hell, she's got a 9.1.
What has she got a 9.1 for?
Neighborhood Sessions Jennifer Lopez, 2015.
Yeah, it's probably a music video, and you probably had like 3 people that's actually reviewed it.
But no, still. Anyway, right. Anyway, much love, people. Thank you very much for tuning in to this episode of Dorks Down Under. We'll be back next week with a review of Atlas.
I'm excited. I actually really want to watch this because I'm kind of hoping that it's like a female-led version of almost like... I want it to have that Alien-esque vibe where it's dark. It's got that strong heroism, kind of like Sigourney Weaver. But I'm just afraid it's going to be shit.
Yeah. To be fair, I still want to tweet... I need to tweet at Arrowhead about my idea of involving... Because obviously the new Aliens movie's coming out.
Yes. Soon. Prometheus, I think it's called? No,
not Prometheus. It's a Roman name. Something, it's like that. I can't remember now. It's going to come back to me.
Romulus, is it? No.
I think it is I think it is Romulus. I think it is. And I kind
of Aliens Romulus.
First and second movie, and I kind of want them to evolve Helldivers a little. Yeah. Especially with, it seems though they've already got camouflaging units. You know, stick a Predator in there as well, just for good measure. You know. Here's
a question, just before we go. When is whatchamacallit? When is Tenacious D?
Exactly 1 month today. Well, not 1 month to this date.
Okay, so rumor is that Deadpool's coming out on the 25th.
Yes, I know.
So you could literally have the world's best day ever. Huge Jackman, Big Papa Reynolds, and then Jack Black.
I have been looking into it. I've already been looking into it. I'm trying to. The problem is that the cinemas are confirming next week everything, date wise. Because obviously they only do it like so far out. And I've been looking, and the local cinema in Hamilton, if they're bringing it out on the 25th, I'm gonna go to that after work, sort of thing. Watch that, and then I'm up in Auckland for the day, and then I'm gonna go see Tenacious D. So I get lit because I have to go to work. I can't, unless I take a day off, because I need to go do something up. I have to go do some major order up in Auckland, sort of thing. So there's no way for me to wiggle it round without having to go do a half-assed audit and then.
To be fair though, you're not looking very well, like.
Believe you me, it's tempting. It's tempting, but I know.
I'm sure it can wait a day.
No, I've already booked it and scheduled it. That was the easiest date of the month, sort of thing, realistically. So I'm gonna try and do it.
Sorry.
I'm gonna try and do.
I just hope you don't catch it.
And then 26th for Tenacious D, and then.
But I thought Tenacious D was in Auckland, wasn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. But I'm only going up to Auckland on the Friday, so I'm going to do the audit, and then I'm going to the concert afterwards. So I'm going up there for work. So
can't you just finish early, just go see that, and then go straight to?
I've been having a look, and that's the reason. And so my backup plan, if I can't go see it on the 25th, is what time can I go see it on the 20th? The problem is, there's in mainland Auckland, in the main city centre, there's 3 cinemas. 2 of them are independent, and 2 of them like to do the fancy films, as I call it.
Yes.
As you can imagine. So there's one cinema that is mainstream, and they don't have the best reputation in that cinema.
Oh, really?
Sticky feet. That's all that needs to be said. Sticky feet. Yeah.
Too many people just spilt their cokes. Damn it.
Yeah, and I kind of really don't want to go. So hopefully, touch wood, the one in Hamilton can sort us out on the 25th, and if it does, that's where I'll be.
Yeah, because nobody wants that.
Yeah, and then 26th, Tenacious D, having a great time.
That'll be sick. Yeah. That's just gonna be an episode where Jordan will only talk. Like he will, I won't even get a word in.
The worst case scenario is I go see it on the 27th when I'm traveling back from Auckland. Worst case scenario. It's not the best case scenario, but at least it's worst case scenario. And
Yeah.
I'll just not answer anything to you because I know you're going to it on the 26th.
No, I'm not. I won't be. I would love to, but there's probably not a chance in hell. I honestly don't reckon I will be able to. Straight up. I want to more than anything, but I guarantee I won't.
Why don't I believe you? I don't believe you one iota.
I haven't been to the movies in ages, and I would love to. I would love to see this at the movies, but I still don't think I will be able to. With work and everything happening, I don't believe it.
Comments if you do believe Des or not.
I'm actually being genuine. I honestly don't think I didn't see the second one at the movies. Oh, no, I didn't. No, sorry. I saw the second one at the movies. I didn't see the first one at the movies. That's 100% genuine.
I'm not buying it, Des.
I promise. I would trust me. I would kill to. I would love to more than anything.
Okay. Anyway, people, we'll leave you there. Peace out.
Layers.